Good evening. So tonight on the bench we have this old 5-horse Briggs. Looks to be in kind of rough shape, but you can never really just go off of, just the outward appearance. Guessing she was on a tiller because there's quite a bit of dirt buildup on it here and there. One thing I noticed right away is that tank is small for a 5-horse Briggs. That is a 3-horse Briggs gas tank. I know that not just by looking at its size, but by looking down here, the bolt hole in the tank does not line up with the bolt hole in the block. Don't know how well you can see that. Again, sorry, I'm still dealing with using my phone as a as a camera for my YouTube channel. I'm in the middle of kind of switching jobs right now, so buying a GoPro is not it's not a priority right now. So yeah, bills first. So anyways, but yeah, also a couple other things I noticed is the carburetor isn't even exactly bolted up. See? It's got bolts holding it to the block, but it's not really even snug. It's got up here, it's got a tin piece that's missing here to help direct air through the cooling fins on the head. That's missing. So before I started this video, I went ahead and rounded up a few parts and pieces. I also noticed that one of the bolts that holds the carburetor and the tank together is missing. So I went ahead and rounded up a usable 5-horse Briggs gas tank, the correct one. I rounded up that missing tin that goes on top, and I rounded up the correct bolt that mates the carburetor to the fuel tank. So that's out of the way. Aside from that, I haven't really done anything with this engine. Let me go ahead and set you down. Aside from that, I have not really done anything with this. I haven't looked into it yet or anything. So hard telling what we're going to find. No idea if this runs, or obviously it won't run as it sits. But no idea if this will run, if it will smoke bad or not. I have no idea if it has spark. I know nothing. I haven't even checked the oil yet. So let's take a look. Let's first go ahead and take a look and see what it's got for oil. Doesn't look like it has any oil. Very little oil in it. Not enough to run. If you were to run this thing as is, it would seize up. For sure. No question about that. Man, this is a dirty engine. Alright, so carburetor and fuel tank is loose. So let's just go ahead and take those off. Carburetor's loose from the fuel tank. It's not even the two bolts that are in there are not even tight. So I'm going to just take that off now. It'll make it easier to get my fingers in there to get the bolts out to get the carburetor off. While we're at it, we might as well just kind of look inside this tank and wow. Only needs very, very minor cleaning. It's a pretty clean tank for its age. Okay. But that's really not important. We're not going to use this one on this engine. Set that out of the way. And we'll take the carburetor off. Just get it out of the way. We're not ready to mess with the carb yet. We're not to that stage yet. By the way, I'm just going to say this now. I don't intend to have this one running in this video. It's going to be another 2-part video. And that carburetor, I was kind of wondering about this because the fuel pickup tubes on the 5-horse Briggs carbs and the 3-horse Briggs carbs. The main pickup tube going down to the bottom of the tank is longer for the 5-horse Briggs motor, for a deeper tank for the 5-horse Briggs. I was kind of wondering how the heck did they, made up a 5-horse Briggs carb to a 3-horse Briggs tank. And I was certain this was the original carb of this engine because the paint, what's left of the paint matches the rest of the engine. And now I see why it went on there. I mean, you can just swap out the pickups if you want to do that. But there's no pickups. There's no pickups, guys. Should be a pickup here. That hole. There should be a pickup at that hole. Yes. So, anyways, that being said, there's no pickups, guys. So, I'm going to have to source a different carburetor or just some pickups for it, which I can get those from the same place I got these other parts for this engine over there, in my part stash. I seem to have lost. No, I didn't lose anything. There it is. Never mind. Just the bolts that hold the fuel tank and the carburetor together. That's all. They're not important at all, are they? Okay. Let's dig in a little deeper, shall we? You know what? Actually, I'm gonna start using one of these magnet trays here. Got some hardware lying around here. Alrighty. Wonder what we'll find in here. Is that the right? Yep, that's the right socket. Actually, before we take this cover off, let's see if she has spark. What do you guys think? Does she have spark? Drop a comment. Let me know if you think she has spark or not. I'm going to say no. I just don't feel like this engine has spark. This engine looks to be like it's seen better days. But sometimes they surprise you. So, well, I didn't see any spark, but I see that. The recoil does not want to recoil. Needs a little lubrication. So, but if it was going to get good strong spark, I would have seen at least a little bit of something. I know I didn't pull real hard, but I should have seen, at least one or two good, nice sparks there, and I didn't see anything. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and dive in deeper. Let's just go ahead and take this off, take off the recoil. What in the world? Come on, let go. What do we have here? Check this out. Appears to be a note. I know exactly what this is. I know exactly what this note is, guys, and it's not because I knew it was in there. I did not know it was in there. A little backstory to a lot of these engines I'm working on. Last summer, as you can see in my last video that I posted last night, it's a little slideshow I put together. Last summer I made a large lot purchase of... It was about 5 or 6 trailer loads worth of stuff that I had bought from one guy. This guy, I was going there to buy a couple of Boland's attachments, but he had just recently purchased his grandpa's old property. And his grandpa wasn't doing well. He wasn't living there anymore. He had His health was declining. He was in a nursing home, and he had just bought his grandpa's old property. Well, his grandpa was quite the collector of really cool old stuff. Lots of antique small engines, and several, antique garden tractors. I think most of them were Boland's and Cubs. I don't know exactly how many garden tractors there were, but there was plenty of Boland's stuff around. There was a couple of Boland's parts tractors I had picked up, and some Boland's attachments. And then I just found lots and lots of loose Boland's parts and pieces lying around that I'd gotten. But from him, or from that place, I had bought up between 60 to 70 antique small engines in various states and conditions. Some of them were complete and looked like they should just take off and run. Some of them were incomplete. There were a few that were just bare cast iron blocks, And anyway, I bought up all this stuff. And long story short, come to find out, on a couple of the motors, I found notes that this old man and he's no longer. Sorry about that. My phone sometimes likes to, after so many minutes of recording, likes to just randomly stop recording. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, it's not important. What I was saying was, this old man that used to own all this stuff, I never got to meet him. I bought all this stuff from his grandson who had bought the property. But anyways, and then he had acquired all of these things, and he just wanted all of his outbuildings emptied out so that he could use them. And so I bought up all this stuff for the purpose of, tinkering with for fun, but also, just getting it running and, to sell a lot of the stuff, and probably keep a few items, but a few of the engines, but most of it I want to resell. And I wanted to save it from ending up in the scrapyard, and wanted to get it into the hands of other, collectors, where this stuff can be appreciated instead of being turned into like a new car or a new refrigerator or something, instead of ending up in the scrapyard. So anyways, but yes, this old man was good about writing notes on engines that he had worked on and putting little notes on them so he would remember what he did to them and what they need. So that is what this is. Let's see what it says. Let's see what this guy wrote about this engine. He wrote, new points and condenser. Valves checked. New head gasket. Needs carb. See? Don't know if you can make out that handwriting in the video, but that is what he wrote. So I keep, as I work on these engines, I keep finding these notes from this old timer who's, he's no longer with us, and I never did get to meet him or anything, but yeah, I just think it's kind of interesting. He left notes for, he probably didn't realize that when he was doing it, but he left notes for the next guy that was going to work on him. Anyways, all right, let's get back at it. I'll save that for future reference. As I work on this thing, that way I'll know what's already been done. Get some of the dirt out of here. All right, so let's get this thing working right. Ooh, jeez. They really should be taken apart and get all the dirt and dust cleaned out of there. There's probably a lot of dirt in there binding it up. But for now, this is what we're going to do. My handy dandy PB blaster. Love this stuff. Like to put a little on my beard in the morning. Makes it, gives it a nice shine, Helps to comb the knots out easier. All right, so let's give her a few spins, and what do you know? kind of working. Let's work that in real good. I think she's still going to need more work, but for now, this will do. Maybe by putting enough PB blaster in there and working it in, can loosen up some of the dirt buildup in there, and maybe when I pour out the excess PB blaster, it'll take some of that dirt out with it. Well, still struggling a little, but it's definitely better than it was. Let's move forward. I'm going to pour whatever excess PB blaster comes out into here. Ooh, that is black. Yes, there was lots of dirt in there. You know what? We are going to need this recoil to work, so let's just go ahead and work some more in. Put a whole bunch in there. Work it in. Clean that dirt out of there. It's working a little better. Let's put some more in there. Come on. Let's get that dirt out of there. I have half a gallon in here before long. All right, let's see what comes out now. It's awful thick and runny. There's a lot of dirt in that PB blaster. I'm going to show you. Give me just a minute. All right, let's set this up to kind of drain out the excess. Alrighty, let's show you. Let's give you a peek. Yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Ooh, that looks delicious. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Just gonna like set this out of the way over there. I'll deal with it later. Got a waste oil jug, I'll put it in. Is this points and condenser? Yes, it is. So down behind the flywheel, we have a points and condenser. Well, you know what? I guess I should have known that because he did right on there. New points and condenser. So, let's we've come this far. Said new head gasket on that note. Let's take a look at the cylinder wall. See what that looks like. I mean, if he bothered putting a new head gasket in here, the cylinder wall should be decent. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth putting a new head gasket in, I would think. Oop, might want the right size socket. Might want a 1/2 incher. What in the world do we have here? The head gasket does look... I don't know if it's a new one, but looks like he probably at least cleaned it up or something. But I noticed something here. Cut a notch. Somebody cut a notch in the top of that valve. Not sure. Oh, something in my eye. Not sure why. I think, if I remember right, on a couple of old engines I've worked on, I had the head off of, small engines. It's there from the factory. There's like a groove cut like that in them, and I think that has something to do with valve lapping. Maybe they had a special tool that had a thing that went in that slot for lapping the valves. I don't know. That's just my guess. So maybe that's what that's for. So I don't know. Anyway, let's give the cylinder wall a look. You know, looking at the cylinder wall, I can tell, you know, it's a used engine, but I can see lines, but I can't feel any of them. Let's give you a look in here. Hold on. Turn the phone so that maybe I can see what you're seeing. I don't know how well you can see the cylinder wall. Maybe you can see any fine detail, but yeah, there's like I can see wear marks, but it is as smooth as glass. Like I cannot feel anything as far as like my fingernail, running my fingernail along in there. Like it doesn't catch on anything. So this could be a good running engine. It really could be. You know what I forgot to do, guys? Normally I go around and I spray a bunch of stuff with PB Blaster before I even start taking it apart. Forgot. Anytime there's anything on the output shaft into the crankshaft, in case I decide at some point I want to take it off, I always spray it with PB Blaster. So I'm going to do that now. That way it has however long to sink in until I decide to take it off. I may never want to take this pulley off of here, but in case I decide I want to, I may as well go ahead and spray it down with some PB Blaster. Just give it some time to get some started soaking in. Alright. Well, let's try again to see if we have spark. I'm just going to leave the head off. I'm just going to set this recoil in place. One moment. There, now that turns a little easier. There's a tiny little hole on the end of the recoil clutch. It's so you can shoot oil in there on the snout of the crankshaft so that this is lubricated. So it spins easy, so it doesn't bind up and make a loud screeching noise and pushes your rope for your recoil back out. I don't know if any of you ever seen it happen, but it can happen. It definitely can happen. Come on. Alright, where did I put that spark plug? So we're just going to, you know, take the spark plug, just set it on here and give her a yank. And there is no spark. I'll make sure the kill wire is not interfering with anything. There is no spark. That could be several things. Could be one of several things. See, he's got some tape here on there, but it wasn't very well taped. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, but I'm going to get rid of this dried out piece of tape that don't stick to nothing. Take the spark plug back off. So let's get in behind this flywheel. I mean, it may have sat in this old guy's garage for 10 years since he's worked on it. I have no idea. So the points and condenser, well, the points might be dirty. But actually, before we do anything else, there is some dirt and debris the top side of this piston. And I don't know if any of it's anything that's hard, like if there's any grit there, but I don't want any of that getting down between the piston and the cylinder wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it up. Piston, the top of the piston, the cylinder wall, everything. Lube it up and clean it up. Get off of there. I want a nice clean one to go down around and wipe out the cylinder wall, get any debris off of it. Let me take a look at something here real quick. Looks like there's a tiny little pinhole on a cylinder wall. Just the tiniest little thing. I don't really think it's going to affect much. You're not going to notice it in the way this thing runs. But it's just the tiniest little pinhole. It doesn't go through. It just kind of, just tiny little pocket or something. Nothing too alarming. It's obviously not ideal, but it's not too alarming. It's just so small, you know. I really don't think it's going to hurt anything. We'll just keep pushing the piston from bottom to the top and back down to the bottom again, and any debris that's, any little bit of dirt or anything that's, it all seems to be like soft stuff like dust, you know. Nothing hard or gritty, but anything that's above that top piston ring will get pushed up, left on the cylinder wall, and wipe it out of there. Now, usually like to use brake cleaner for this, but I don't have any right now. Carb cleaner's handy right here, so do the same thing. Clean it again. Just get any little bit of debris that's down there out of there. Now that's out of there. A little bit of PB Blaster on there and just kind of work it into the piston and rings. Real good. Get it worked in real good. And there we are. Now that's cleaned and lubricated. All right, now back to where we were. Let's dive in further. Let's which one is it? I think it's this one. Nope. Too big. Let's get in behind this flywheel and take a look at the points of condenser. Gotta get these 4 little bolts out. Alright, whoa! Recoil just went ahead and started coming apart. The balls fell out for the recoil clutch. See, for those of you that may not have ever, or maybe are new to working with small engines, or maybe not have gone this far in, I'll show you what the recoil clutch does. You got these little ball bearings in there. There's 5 of them. And there's 6 of these little pockets that they can go into when the engine's running. This is in there. Oop. Sorry. Didn't mean to squirt you with some PB blaster there. This is in there. So I got like 5 points like a star. There's 6 pockets though and 5 ball bearings. And let me demonstrate. See, when the engine is running, centrifugal force pulls these balls all the way out into their pockets. Okay? I actually think there's supposed to be a 6th ball in here. I think it's supposed to be 6, not 5. But anyway, it'll work fine with 5. But when the engine's not running, let's say that's, it's sitting upright. It's tilted back right now, but you get the idea. Like, some of these balls will get wedged in there when you pull on the recoil, when you pull on the rope, it goes like that. And you can see the balls kind of get jammed in there, right? Well, that turns, then this turns this because the balls are jammed in there, which turns the engine. Now, when the engine is running, the balls run out to the ends of these little pockets. Okay? And then this is allowed to just spin freely around the snout of the crankshaft, which is why you need to shoot some lubricant in that tiny little hole there. Anyway, but yeah, that's how that works. In case you didn't know. Alright. I don't know how far I'm going to go with this video tonight, guys. I don't plan on having this thing running tonight. It's getting late and I'm tired. Ooh, ouch. Hit me fingers. Up. There we have it. It's loose. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull this washer off. Come on. I do want to thread this back on there, but not all the way up to where it touches the flywheel. Because I want to put that back on there. And this is what I'm going to hit on with the hammer, not the snout of the crankshaft. Sorry, I'm getting thirsty. My voice is starting to crack. always try to keep something out here to drink, and I even keep some snacks out here. Don't tell my girlfriend. I hide these out here from her. Mine. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take something as a lever, and we're going to apply pressure to the back side of the flywheel. We're going to apply pressure outward, like that. And then we're going to hit there. And wow, that's that's all it took. That really wasn't tight. See, the flywheel's, I just barely tink, flywheel comes loose. Well, that, the old man, the previous owner, he was, in here at some point in time, so it's not too surprising. And just like that, the flywheel is off. I wish it was always that easy, but if it comes off that easy, it's not necessarily a good thing. Then we're going to remove this little shear key. Another little bit of knowledge. For those of you that might be new to working on small engines, or just aren't that experienced, these little shear keys, it's a little aluminum key. Yeah, that's right, I said aluminum. It's aluminum for a reason. This is aluminum, it's a softer metal, so if something's going to get messed up here in this keyway, it's going to be the shear key, which is super cheap and fairly easy to replace. And not the keyway in the crankshaft or in the flywheel that get messed up. This is cheaper and easier to replace than a crankshaft or a flywheel. So, if this is partially sheared, not all the way sheared, it can cause timing issues. Because if your flywheel, if it's partially sheared, your flywheel will be slightly cocked one way, which would make your timing, it would retard your timing? I believe so. Guess it depends on which way it shears. I believe the way it would normally shear, it would retard your timing, so make it spark a little bit later. I don't know, I'd have to think about that. But it's either going to retard or advance your timing, and it's going to make your timing off on your engine. So it's going to be sparking and igniting at the wrong time. Either too early or too late. So anyway, just a little more random knowledge. I try to make these videos not just entertaining, and I'm probably not the most entertaining guy, but might be kind of funny to look at, but I try to not only make them entertaining, but I try to make them educational. A lot of you guys are probably like, "Oh, we already know this or we already know that," but I mean, not everybody does. Not everybody knows all this stuff, so just trying to help out those that don't know as much. Got to learn somehow, right? Well, if you want to learn about small engines, you're in the right place. I've been working on small engines around 25 years. I started when I was just a kid. Just was bored, was out in the shop tinkering, and learning. And when other kids, when I was a kid, when other kids, that I knew were playing video games or playing sports or whatever, I was out in the shop tinkering. That's how I learned. Let's take a look. They could use some cleaning up. So it's I know he said in his note that he left for me, unknowing that he was leaving it for me. I know he said new points of condenser, but that was probably quite some time ago, because these could use a little cleaning up. And my seat's getting a little hard, so I'm going to stand for just a little bit. I still haven't found my points file. Actually, no. I might know where they are, but I don't want to waste time in the video to go look. Sandpaper is definitely not my preferred method for cleaning up points, but it does work. You just gotta make sure that you're not leaving any debris on the points after. You gotta clean them. Carb cleaner, brake cleaner, something, and a paper towel. So yeah, we're just going to clean up these points. I'm going to give them a look. Look nice and clean. The other thing I want to check while I'm in here is a little push rod. Goes right here, and it rides on the crankshaft. Well, on the crankshaft at one spot, at just the right spot, there's a little dip. It makes that little push rod thing go, and that's what closes and opens your points. So I'll make sure that's clean, lubricated. It looks to be clean and lubricated, but I'm gonna shoot just a tiny bit of PB Blaster in there and put that thing back in. Now, I prefer to use brake cleaner for this, but I'm gonna take some carb cleaner. It'll do the same job. It's a little dirty in there. It's supposed to be pretty clean. In there behind this cover where the points of condenser are supposed to be pretty clean, and it was a little dirty in there, and I didn't like it, so I want to make sure it's clean in there. You have to give that a minute to kind of air out a little, dry off. Snack time. Okay, that's pretty well dried off. Let's reassemble the points here. Ooh, it smells like carb cleaner. Smells good. Come on. There we go. Now we got to get the end of this little spring down where it belongs. Then we got to get on there. I'm going to pull the back end of these points. Oh, come on. Come on. I have to hold a finger on that so the spring don't come off again. Pull it up and clip it in where it belongs. Move the points up where they belong. Oh, come on now. I would show you what I'm doing while I'm doing it, but there's just not, without a proper camera and, a stand and all that, a little tripod or something, there's just no way that I can hold a camera and do that. It's just not possible. And it looks like that points gap is a little bit big. I'm going to take a look. It's a little on the big side. it's not closing all the way. Well, if it is, it's pretty close. But I don't think it really is closing all the way. So I'm going to close it up a little bit. And I know some of you guys, oh, you need a feeler gauge. You're correct. You should use a feeler gauge. But I've been doing these long enough that I can eyeball it and get it pretty well right most of the time. I don't know that I've ever eyeballed it and didn't get it right. Let's just say that. They are definitely closing fully now. All right. Let's reassemble. First things first. This points cover. This engine could use a good bath. I'll tell you what, this thing needs a good bath and a parts cleaner. That's one thing I don't have here yet, but before I moved here and had my own garage, I went halves on a parts cleaning tank from Harbor Freight with my buddy, and we went in together and bought one for his garage. So I have unlimited access to that. So one of these times I might run over there and use it. Wait till I have like several engines that need cleaned and just make like, you know, good few hours of it. Something like that. Anywho, alright, now, because the flywheel is a part that usually is hard to come off in the first place, I'm just going to give it a good spray. Some PB Blaster. You can use PB Blaster, you can smear some motor oil, some grease on it, whatever. Just, hey, PB Blaster's right here, and so why not just use it? Besides, I like the smell. It goes good on waffles too. Goes great on some waffles. A little bit of PB Blaster. Now let's set this flywheel in place and line up the keyway. At this time, we will put that shear key back in. While it's out, we need to inspect it, which I did earlier. Looks good. We'll just kind of rotate the flywheel a little bit and wiggle that in. With that in place, move on to the recoil clutch assembly. First, the housing. Oh wait, we forgot something. Forgot the washer. There's a washer that goes on there. Now, to tighten it, we're going to find two thick cast iron fins on the flywheel. Not the aluminum ones. They will snap right off. Not saying the cast iron ones won't, but they're a lot less likely. They are thicker and they are way stronger. We're going to find two of them that are, you know, thicker ones and side by side. And this is not the Briggs and Stratton approved method. Okay, so don't say, oh, Mike told me to. Mike from Old Iron Garage told me to do it this way. But this is the way I'm doing it. It works if you do it right, if you're careful. But this is not the Briggs and Stratton approved method. This did not come out of a service manual. But yeah, we're going to wedge this in here. We're going to tighten this down. The reason we're wedging that in there is to hold the flywheel. Sorry about that noise. I know when the phone or the camera is sitting on the bench, you can hear the ringing of the metal frame of the bench. So sorry about that. I know it's annoying. Just please bear with me until I can buy a GoPro. Then there's this little thin plastic washer that some of them had and some of them didn't have. That goes in next. Now I'm going to spray some more PB Blaster in here. I'm going to set that thing on there. That thing was all dirty inside. The PB Blaster that squished out came out black. That's okay. We'll get some fresh lubricant in there, some kind or another, and we'll put the ball bearings back in place. 5 came out, so 5 are going to go in. There's 6 slots, but 5 came out, so 5 are going to go in. Put the little cover back on. Yes, and then this little screen is important. It keeps debris, like larger pieces of debris, from going in here and, getting in the flywheel where all these fins are, or blowing up to the cooling fins around the cylinder and getting stuck in there. Keeps that from happening. So it's important. You might look at it, it's just a little metal screen. It's not needed for the engine to run. You're right. The engine doesn't need it to run, but that's to protect the engine so the engine can properly cool itself. Because this is an air-cooled engine, so unless it can get proper airflow where it needs it, it's not going to stay cool. Or less likely to stay cool, which can cause hot spots in the cylinder, which means advanced wear and tear in the cylinder and a shortened engine life. In high school, there was a few classes that I really enjoyed. I didn't really like school, but there was a few classes that I really enjoyed. And my favorite class of all time was small engine class. My favorite classes, period, were shop classes, any shop class, and then weightlifting. But my favorite class of all time was small engines. And wouldn't you know, that is the one class in high school that I got an award in for being the top student. Me and another guy, we both tied for top student in that class, so we both got an award. Never got an award for top student in any math class or English class or anything like that. Social studies. But small engines, I got an award in that class for being top student. My small engines teacher he also taught some other classes like the welding shop class. And wouldn't you know, I'm also a welder. My full-time job is a welding job. But anyway, yeah, I know I'm just rambling. But yeah, he was my favorite. I had 2 favorite teachers in high school that were shop teachers. And both of them are passed away now. Both of them are long gone, but rest in peace. But yeah, I had a lot of fun in shop class in high school, especially in the small engine class. And I was so good in that class and I enjoyed it so much that they let me come back to that class a second time as like I kind of helped out in the shop, like, teaching other kids and helping other kids with their projects and stuff. So yeah, that definitely was fun. Good times, good memories. So anyway, we'll see if she has spark now. She has spark. It's not the strongest spark. I wonder if that plug wire is arcing to the block somewhere maybe. Let's try standing it up so it's not touching anything. Got a little bit stronger spark now. So I might find some electrical tape when I'm off video and wrap this, or maybe, no, I got a bunch of heat shrink somewhere. I might see if I can find some heat shrink for it or something and wrap it. But let's see if I can get you up there to see that. Hold on one moment. Sorry, this is really hard to do. Oh, I think you at least saw one good spark. Yeah. I'm sure, I think I was trying to also kind of watch the screen. I think I saw it a good several times. So, yep, she has spark. I'm going to go ahead and say that this engine's going to be a good runner, guys. Really don't know what else I want to do to it tonight other than just some reassembly. So let's do that. Let's just do some reassembly. And I don't know, I might try to see if I can get it to fire on ether. You know, a little excitement. So, let's get back to work. Quit playing around. A little bit of dirt there. Okay. This head gasket looks okay. Yeah, that note said it was a new one. I really don't think it's a new one. It may have been a long time ago. I don't know. But I don't think it's a new one. But if it works, it's all that really matters, right? Okay. Get two of them started so they stay in place. Now we're going to put in that missing tin piece to help direct airflow. I'm going to take the head bolts out that are in the way and drop them in there, and then drop them right back where they go. It doesn't match the engine, but that really doesn't matter. Now we're going to torque them to spec. That is how you torque them to spec, I guess. Not really, but clean off the spark plug. Looks like there's a little bit of dirt or something on it. Don't want that in the cylinder. Just kind of clean off the whole thing. And make sure that the intake and exhaust valves are in the closed position, because guess what, guys? Spark plug's out, so I'm going to go ahead and spray a little bit of carb cleaner or something in there. So that way when I'm ready to give her a pull. She's got something in there to fire on. Huh. Thought that might have been the right size spark plug socket, but it's not. Give that a good snug. Then get a piece of candy with my dirty fingers. I'm going to go ahead and kind of clean off this carburetor. It's pretty cruddy. And stand up again. Seat's getting uncomfortable. I need a better shop stool for my bench. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clean up this cruddy carburetor. Looks like there's some dirt and grit inside it. So let's do that. I see some dirt and grit down inside here. That's what you don't want. So I'm just going to do that real quick. But while I'm at it, I'm going to kind of knock loose some of the dirt and grit that's on the outside and just kind of give the whole outside kind of a spraying off. You know what? I just remembered this carburetor, this engine's not going to run on this carburetor anyways because there's no pickup tubes. So, I'm going to go ahead and clean this and bolt it on. Just so I have something to kind of meter the amount of air, to limit the amount of air going in so it doesn't just rev out of control as soon as it fires up. And I might go and find I know I got some pickup tubes, carb pickup tubes over there for Briggs and Stratton. Some good used ones. I don't know if they're 3 horse or 5 horse or what, but I know over my parts stash I have some. So, and if not, I've got other carbs over there that I can throw on it. The same carb that's a little bit more complete. Part of the linkage fell off, so I'm going to grab that real quick. So I don't lose it. Just throw that in the magnet tray. Yeah, it's good enough. Doesn't have to win a beauty contest. I just wanted to make sure it's fairly clean. I like to put some kind of, usually, I don't always, but when I think about it, I like to put some kind of lubricant of some kind on the hardware before it goes back in. Just, so it goes in easier, and then when it comes back out next time, it might help it to come out a little easier. And, since it's in there, it'll help to kind of prevent corrosion and oxidation a little bit. So it doesn't kind of rust in there so easily. All right. 3/8 wrench. And we're gonna snug this up real good. Hey, 3/8 doesn't quite fit like it should because this thing's boogered up. Now it'll fit, I think. I hope. Yep. There. Okay, that's on there. I think now we just got to put on the recoil. Now we can see if she fires on spray, you know. Man, that's still coming out like syrup. There's a lot of dirt in this recoil, guys. You know, I might be able to just kind of soak it in a parts cleaner tank or then work it in. And that might clean it up enough. Or I may end up just opting to take it apart, which I really don't want to do. It's kind of a pain. But I might just try to soak it in a parts cleaner tank first and see what happens. What do you guys think I should do, huh? Let me know in the comments. By the way, like, I love getting feedback from you guys. All 2 of you that watch my channel. No, I love getting feedback. So, like, you know, drop a comment. You know, leave comments. I will respond. All right, guys. I might clamp this thing down. Before I do, I got to clean some of this dirt off. It's in the way of where my clamps are going to go. Ew. There's dirt on my bench, guys. There's dirt on my bench. Ew. Get it off. Get it off. It's another reason why I put an old towel down on my bench. I can just pick it up and shake it off. There's like literally a 1/4 inch layer of dirt and grease here. Nasty. It's got to come off. It's in the way where the clamp's going to go. And if all that dirt's there, you know that clamp's just going to move around on it. Alright, I'm not going to try to run this engine for long or anything. Just see if I can get it to fire up, and I might try to keep it running on spray for just a little bit, but just to see what it... Oh, wait, you know? What are we forgetting, guys? You remember. We need to add oil. I didn't want to add oil at first when I checked it, when I saw it was low, because I didn't know if this thing was going to be even worth adding oil to. You know, I wanted to check it out first. But now that I see it's worth adding oil to, we need to add oil. Alright, guys. Let's add some oil. Get my funnel. Get my jug of oil. I think it's about time to go to Tractor Supply and get some more oil. I think I need to start buying it by the, this is a 2-gallon jug. I think I need to start buying it by the 5-gallon bucket. You know, I'm out here tinkering a lot, so I go through a lot of oil. You know? Hi, kitty. It's my garage cat. I got 2 garage cats. They help keep the mice away. They're great. They help keep mice from getting into things and making nests in places they shouldn't. Like, you know, under these engine tins. And chewing up wires. You know. So, it's great to have a couple of cats out here in the garage. Got a little, there's a little doggy door in the garage where they can go in and out. And they love it out here. You know, I keep food and water for them out here. And in the wintertime, I keep something in their water to keep it warm so it doesn't freeze. And I keep made a little house for them to go into with a heated pad. So they have somewhere to go in the winter when it's to stay warm, you know, to put some heat in their body. So I don't want to hear anyone say, oh, you're mean, you should let your animals inside. Well, you know, they have shelter and they have food and water and a warm place to go. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I have a dog too. He lives inside. He's an inside and outside dog, but he's inside every night. And he's elderly. He gets cold easy, so he don't stay out much in the winter. Basically just enough to go to the bathroom, run around for a few minutes. But yeah, he's a senior dog. He's old, so he gets cold easy, so we don't leave him out long in the winter. But starting to warm up, and when if it's like 45 or 50 degrees outside, I let him out to go potty, and in a little bit I check on him, and he's laying in the sun, sunning himself, working on his tan. Sorry if I'm sniffling a little. It is still cold out here. Until tomorrow, it is still February, so still a little cold out here. Which is why it's taking this oil so long to go down that funnel. I believe she's full. She's full. Got that fresh oil in there, that nice fresh oil. And I am definitely due for for another container of oil. All right, let's get ready. See what she does. Hopefully she don't jump off the bench. Hopefully it doesn't like try to yank the rope out of my hands and yank this thing right off the bench. I make these clamps pretty tight, but still I need a more permanent, more professional way of doing this. I'm trying to come up with some ideas. I got a few ideas in my head. Alright guys, let's see if she fires. You think she's gonna fire? Put the hammer there, hammer handle to hold the phone. See what she does. Oh! She fired. I knew it would happen. You know what? Let's try something else. I wonder if the camera will stand up here. It would be out of the way and not lying on the bench. It's not gonna stay there. I'm sorry, guys. I tried. I just don't want you guys to like fall over when this thing fires and tries to run. Wish I had a muffler I could thread in there. Thing's idled way up. Let's idle it down a little bit. Oh, if I can get that screw to turn, a little PB blaster, help it out. Well, that's as far down as it's going to idle. I see you jumping around over there. Well, guys, she fires. She's gonna run. I just need the right carburetor and fuel tank on here. I mean, it's the correct carburetor, but there's no fuel pickups, so that carburetor ain't gonna do anything for this thing. And I have a fuel tank there I can use. I just need a carburetor with fuel pickups, or to put fuel pickups in that one. So there you have it. And I think she's going to be a good running engine. Once I'm ready to go further on this thing, I will make a second part to this video. And there are a couple other engines that I started, that one or two that I made a first part to the video, but not a second one, that I need to finish up. So those are going to be coming up in the next few videos. I think this one, and then one or two others that I need to make a part 2 for the first video of, and those are going to be my next videos coming up. So, all right, thanks for joining me. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, if you have not yet hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button. If not, you're going to be missing out on some good videos you're going to be getting uploaded. Yeah, so hit that subscribe button if you have not. And please, share this channel with any friends that you think might enjoy this. Thanks for watching.